Hey everybody, how are you today? This is your Uncle Steve on Echo, obviously. Let's get back to the regular voice. I was doing some vocal things. Welcome to the Friday brunch in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna talk about a couple of things, have a couple of questions for you. In the 2024 Atlanta Falcons season, it wouldn't surprise me if blank. That's going to be the question of the day. Plus, Usher versus Justin Timberlake. Hey, what's going on? How's everyone doing today on this pretty nice Friday for a change? Got the temperature up a little bit, got the sun shining. It's been a while since we've been able to connect those two dots together. I know it's still in the middle, I guess literally in the middle of winter right now, but good to have a day or two where you can go outside and enjoy and walk around and walk around in short sleeve shirt today. So I thought that was pretty cool to be able to do that. But you are joining Uncle Steve's Lounge on the Friday brunch. Welcome in. Appreciate you. Come on in for a little while. Just gonna talk a couple of things, Atlanta Falcons, get everybody up to date on what's going on, what has been going on, and want to give you a question or two to talk about going into the weekend. Obviously, it's the bye week for the Super Bowl coming in, so we got a little bit of empty time in here. So I know your uncle. I stay on sports as well, but I also have a slightly related thing as far as the Super Bowl and stuff coming up. But I wanted to pose this question to you. Of course, with all the change going on with Raheem Morris coming in as the head coach, of course, he's pretty much established most of his coaching staff, retained a couple of familiar faces, brought in some folks from the Rams to come help him out in this. I don't even want to say rebuild, but I say retooling of the Atlanta Falcons into 2024. So obviously, people are talking about different things that the Falcons do, whether it be free agency, whether it be uh, a trade, whether it be going up for for a certain draft pick, and with so many options in the Falcons' hands, and now with Raheem Morris, I know a lot of people when you start talking about Bill Belichick and what you thought he would do, everybody assumed that if he came in here, he was going to trade the pick and get more draft picks because that's what he normally does. But now with Raheem Morris here and his first time at the helm in over a decade, it'll be interesting to see what moves or what direction he goes with as far as personnel or anything like that. So I wanted to pose the question to you, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about personnel, but just a thought on what you think about something that wouldn't surprise you that would happen in 2024. That could be, it wouldn't surprise me whether the Falcons made the playoffs. It wouldn't surprise me whether we had a rookie starting. It wouldn't surprise me if Desmond Ritter was back at quarterback.
I love Desmond.
It wouldn't surprise me if we got Russell Wilson. It wouldn't surprise me. So, whatever your heart takes you on this particular question, let's see if we can answer that question. So, in the 2024 Atlanta Falcons season, it wouldn't surprise me if blank. And it could be anything. It could be funny. It could be um, as long as it's related to the Falcons 2024 season. We're gonna answer that. So get your answers together, put them in the chat for me, and we'll read those in a couple of seconds as we get here. As you all are coming in, please, if you don't mind, if you haven't already, please like the video for me. I appreciate it. Helps me get out there and helps people see that there is some content here from your Uncle Steve. So I appreciate you. Feel free to share it to your friends and tell some folks to subscribe, man. We're gonna try to build this thing. The road to 2,000 before the 2024 season starts is just underway. So hopefully we can get this thing pumped up a little bit. Let everybody know where we are. My second question is gonna be a little topical, but it is Super Bowl related. As you all know, Usher is doing the halftime show this year, and I think it's a well-deserved accolade for those artists who are significant, and it's had a significant impact on the music world, entertainment. Of course, most of the big stars have done it, from Stevie Wonder, Prince, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Madonna, Bruno Mars, just a lot of folks, Rolling Stones, Bruce Springsteen, plenty of stars that have done it. So Usher absolutely fits the bill, and it's about time that he got his star up there. So this morning, I was talking to my beautiful wife, Kira, Aunt Kira on the YouTube, and I remember us right around the time, not too long, we were pretty much newlyweds, a couple of years in. And I posed the question to her, and this was right around the time that uh, Justin Timberlake had come out with the Justified album, went solo, and left in sync. And at that time, that album was so hot. If y'all remember, the Like I Love You, Cry Me a River, Senorita, Rock Your Body, all that stuff that the Neptunes did and all that. And I remember posing the question to her back in 2000, what was it? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, whatever it was. And I say, man, Justin has pretty much caught up with Usher at this time as far as the solo male is concerned. Because as much as people don't want to admit it, Justin crossed over into kind of like the R&B, I wouldn't say hip hop, but R&B world, pop. Not that Usher hadn't done his thing. He's very much R&B and crossed over into pop. So I really wanted to pose the question, and I posed it to her this morning, and she was 100% pro Usher. And I understand Usher's coming off the Las Vegas residency and all of this and all of that. But I wanted to ask you all, what did y'all think right now? And I'm talking complete body of work as an entertainer. So with the music, with the concerts, with the both of them has dabbled into acting, just the whole package. In 2024, who is that? Who has had the more impressive career? Usher or Justin Timberlake? Now, Justin Timberlake just released a song. I don't know if you all are Justin Timberlake fans or not. Just released a song last week, shot to the top on iTunes thing. And I just I don't know why, but I keep skewing back to Justin on this particular one by a small amount, because I love some Usher. Usher controlled 2003 with the concert, the little stuff him and Keke Palmer came up with. I don't know if you all heard the Color Purple soundtrack, but he and her, the artist her, have a beautiful song called "Risk It All" on that particular. And I'm really been dialing it up in my rotation for the last couple of weeks. Uh, so who you got? Who you got? Usher or Justin Timberlake? I'm bringing it up because Usher is gonna be at the Super Bowl, so I just want to know what everyone's thinking. So we got two questions today. In the 2024 Atlanta Falcons seasons, it wouldn't surprise me if blank, you fill in the blank. It could be anything. What you think the season record's going to be? Who's going to be the starting quarterback? What are we going to do in the draft? Who we going to pick up in free agency? It wouldn't surprise me if that's the task. And the other question, of course, Usher or Justin Timberlake. Just plain and simple. Doesn't have to be who has the most number one songs, who has the most whatever, but who do you consider at this moment to be the most accomplished entertainer at this point? I say Justin by a smidge. My wife says Usher. It's not even, a bad thing because both of them are awesome, but just putting that on the table. So again, as y'all coming in, make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all um, put your comments in here, and let's go to the chat, y'all. TW is in the house, and Desmond, to answer the question, he says, it wouldn't surprise if Desmond started at least one regular season game somewhere. That's actually a very good one, because I still believe right now, if you ask me, I think they might keep Desmond around. Not as a starter, but as somebody who's still on the roster, someone who whether it was a good experience or not, now he's been out on the field. Now he knows how to prepare. Now he knows those things you need to do as a starting quarterback in the NFL. So to have a young person on the roster that knows those things, even though you're bringing in someone else, I think it is going to prove to be valuable. So yeah, that wouldn't shock me at all. Not at all. Dexter's in the house. Hey, what's up? Oh, I watched an episode on YouTube of our OC, and PFF was talking about how smart he was for identifying quarterbacks and coverages. I lit up like a Christmas tree. Watch it when you get a chance. I am going to check that out, my friend. I usually check out a little bit of the PFF stuff from time to time, but I actually haven't had a chance to roll over there recently, but I will check that out. Marina says, happy Friday, Uncle Steve. It wouldn't surprise me if Ritter was the starting quarterback of our 2024 season.
I love that.
I hear you. That's what I'm talking about, folks. It wouldn't surprise you. I'm trying to I'm trying to get out what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna hold tight for a quick second. It's not anything bad. I'm just like, if he's the starting quarterback, I hope that means something didn't go bad. I just don't. If I'm Raheem Morris, I don't know. We'll find out a lot Monday when they have the press conference, because the question is going to be asked. What are you going to do with Desmond Ritter? It's not like he's a free agent or anything like that. He's on the roster. Obviously, he's not going to dog him out. He's not going to throw him under the bus. But it will be interesting to see what his plan is for Desmond Ritter. That will be. I can't wait for that question to happen. MW, the franchise player in the house. What's going on, sir? Good to have you. Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Appreciate you. See Doubles here. Happy Friday, Unc. How you doing? I am fine, my friend. Wallace says, what's going on with you, Unc, on this Friday? I am great. Got a chance to get out a little bit, do my thing. I'm back in, get ready to go to work in a little bit, but we'll march on. Robin, how you doing, Robin? So what's up, Unc? How you feel about the coaching changes? I'm good. There was we talked about it last week or either Monday. There really isn't a wrong answer for any of this stuff. I saw someone on Twitter, which is again a cesspool of negativity a lot of times. Sometimes it's good, most of the time it's folks that have no other thing in life but to be miserable. Oh, it's the worst hire in the history of Atlanta franchises. Really? I mean, it's almost like, is that really what in the history of Atlanta franchises, the Raheem Morris hire is the worst? I just laugh. I laugh when I see stuff like that. Just people have nothing else to do but to be negative. Got first super chat in the house. Our buddy Big Low in here.
Appreciate the super chat, chat. Appreciate your super chat, chat. We're gonna show you a good thing.
Appreciate this. Appreciate brother Big Low Country Sports. Y'all make sure y'all check him out on Big Low Country Sports. He is the man. I know he's been under the weather a little bit, so y'all make sure y'all throw out a little prayer to him. Make sure that he is feeling much better. He said, think about it like this: a Timberlake was the lead singer in Sync. Big Low is the lead singer of Southern Silk. Usher did his own on his own. Okay. And I know that's the first thing people are going to say. Here's the problem when you go into that argument. Do we say the same thing about Michael Jackson? That's anytime I hear people saying that, when Justin had Timberlake. Yeah, but when he was out in front of NSYNC, that was probably the allure. Like Michael was in front when the Jacksons were there. When you start talking about Michael Jackson's catalog, nobody stops at nobody starts from Ben and Rockin' Robin. They go all the way back to I Want You Back, ABC, The Love You Save, all those songs there. So I think it's fair that you include that catalog in there and include what he's done because he was entertaining at the time. Just in Usher, let's also remember Usher. Usher came out the bat kind of cool. Back in the early, it was like mid to early 90s. Was that Think of You? I remember that song. Then he kind of quieted down a little bit before he came back. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's an arguable thing. I hear you. Rusty has a super chat too.
You know we appreciate super chat, talking this and that for you. And this is what we do.
Yeah, this is I again appreciate you, brother. Said new plan, Steve. Trade for Justin Fields and Adunsi, the guy from Washington. I'm gonna get his name at number 8, 30 points per game. I actually like dude from I like dude from Washington. He's actually pretty good. Don't sleep on Neighbors as well from LSU. I like him. I like him as a wide receiver at first, but Raheem. I'm not sure if Raheem is going to go wide receiver. I think we've done enough of that. It's either to me. And this plan is not a bad plan. I have zero issue with the trade for Justin Fields thing. I don't. As long as the compensation is not, as long as a first round pick is not included in the compensation. I don't think it will. I think you might see a combination, maybe a second from this year. We have, potentially could have 2 second rounders, and then, I as long as it's not including the first rounder, I don't have that problem. But homeboy is pretty good, wide receiver. He made Penix look very good. Barbara, how you doing, Barbara? Barbara says, surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if we don't get a new quarterback. It would be a riot. Yeah, they're gonna get a new quarterback. That I know a lot of people are saying, and that's fine to have your opinion about Desmond Ritter. I'm not going to Desmond Ritter hate today at all.
I love Desmond.
I just feel like, yeah, part of the reason the other coach is now with Pittsburgh is because he bet on Desmond Ritter and he lost and he gambled. And I don't think Raheem is going to make that same mistake. Eric Parker's in the house. What's up, Eric? Said not really caring about the Super Bowl. I've seen this before, 2019. I'm sure the outcome will be the same. Kansas City. It could still be pretty good, though. Got some different players in there as well. Different quarterback for San Francisco. Never know. Clayton says, "What's up, Steve? It wouldn't surprise me if we went 7-10 again, but I'm predicting 12-5. That's fair." Justin says, "It would not surprise me if we get Baker Mayfield." Man, has that been going around lately too? But here's the thing that's more appealing about a Justin Fields or drafting up, because you don't have to mortgage the farm um, to get Justin, and he won't cost you, even on his 5th year, it's only going to be $20 million. And for a quarterback in 2025, that's going to be great. So the 2024 year, he'll still have, I think it's a $9 million hit. And then you go up to the $20 million in 25. I think I could see that before I see Baker Mayfield's not going to leave Tampa for a $25 million deal. Tampa's going to pay him. They're going to have to probably pay him something like what Geno Smith got at Seattle for his 1 year of work. Clayton says, evening with the quarterback situation. He said even with the quarterback situation. I know you're completing with the other thing. I got you. Brian Peoples is here. What's up, Brian? How you doing, sir? Barbara says, not Falcon related. Your wife spoke highly of you. Got any single friends like you? Asking for a friend. I actually do. I'll have to talk to you offline about that. Yeah, and he's pretty. I know I got a couple of them. I'll have to check their free agency status on things, but I do have a couple of really good guys that are like that. So we can easily turn this into the love connection here on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Oh man. Shaka said, "What's up? We in the building. Yes, sir. Good to have you in here, brother." Rusty says, "Zeno just spoke on the dysfunction within the Falcons the past few years. He doesn't think McKay is out of ops, and gave some legit insight on why. I agree. I think AB and McKay thinks we're dumb. I don't think. I will say this. I absolutely believe that there will be moments in 2022 where Raheem might say, 'Hey, Rich, let me ask you this.' Terry Fontenot might say, 'Hey, Rich, let me ask you this.' I think what they were trying to do, and what Arthur and Rich foolishly did that day after they fired Arthur Smith, is they set up a they had a very, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna find what I'm saying. In other words, they put it where they sit up so high, and everybody has to come up to their mountain to ask permission to do this or do that. Especially when Rich McKay was going in, "Oh, I talked 25 times during the week," and blah, 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 blah. And I'm saying to myself, well, why do you have a general manager if that's the case? I mean, if we have to go through you for everything, that doesn't make sense. If the Bill Belichick drama did anything, maybe it put a microscope on that. Um, so yeah. James, what's going on, man? Hello, cousin. How was your birthday? It was great. Went out that night after we finished the stream. Texas Roadhouse, had a great family dinner, a lot of laughs, a lot of reminiscing type stuff. So good stuff. Jamal D in the house. What's going on, brother? Wallace said, "It wouldn't surprise me if Richie Grant gets cut." Yeah, I think. I don't think that's a huge surprise to anyone, but yeah, I hear you. Matt Town Dirty's in the house. What's up, Matt Town? Good to see you, bro. Rusty says he doesn't have a problem with Raheem. He has a problem with how AB words don't match his actions. I hear you. Barbara says, "Love Usher. He can sing and dance. It will be a great show." Oh, the halftime is going to be awesome. And you know it's going to be a surprise or two in there. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive it's going to be something. Another super chat in the house. JD and Truck in here with another super chat.
Appreciate the super chat, chat. Appreciate
That
your
was all,
super
always the best
chat,
song, best part of that
chat.
song,
We're
right?
gonna show you a good thing.
Used to love that. Unc, I really would like to get one of those free agent pass rushers. That would help a lot. P.S. We need a diss track on Big Low, like Nicki did on Make It. Wow, wow. We gonna hiss. We gonna hiss on Big Low. I can't do that. I can't do that to my brother. But you made me think. I can't do that to him. Oh man, that is horrible. Another super chat from my brother in the eye test.
You know we appreciate super chat, talking this and that for you. And this is what we do.
Brother John Harris in the house. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Y'all make sure y'all check out the eye test. John and Winston, they had a pretty good. I want to say that was Wednesday night that they came on Wednesday at 10. Very good panel they had that particular night, talking about all things Falcon. Y'all make sure y'all check them out on YouTube. Give them a subscription. Taking all bets. Who's going to be at the introductory press conference Monday? My money is on Beatles, Fontenot, Morris, everybody else scared. And Blank. I think Blank will be there. Everybody you just said and Arthur Blank. I think that's what it's going to be. Yep. They won't mess that up again. They will not mess that up again. That's for sure. I agree with you wholeheartedly. That they're not going to mess that up. They're not. Scott Glover, what's up, Scott? Said, wouldn't surprise me if this is the year we make them put some respect on the logo. I'm down with that. I'm down. Ron Smith, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Happy belated birthday. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. I look, you can belate it to March. I will always appreciate being acknowledged on that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Derek says, had an above he said had an above 500 record and a playoff berth. Talking about things you wouldn't be surprised at. Okay, we'll take that. False start. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Facebook user said, what happened to ABG, meaning Atlanta Bird Gang? Bird Gang is back in a different reincarnation. And what I can tell you didn't happen. There's falsehoods going around about there being certain comments of racial and things like that, and people got out of hand and Facebook shut it down. I can 100% absolutely confirm that that was not what shut down the group. That was not what shut down the page. There were some other things. Sometimes you know how sometimes you're in the background and you have, that's why I'm kind of careful with my music sometimes too. And they call what they call intellectual properties. And I think we had a couple of dings on us. Uh, like people might have been sharing videos and things into the group. And when you do that so many times, they'll, you know, ding you for that. And Facebook is real. YouTube is like that too. So you have to be real careful as far as making sure that you have, you know, you do your homework and make sure things don't come up. I mean, it's happened to me before. Like I'll put something on Facebook that might be a video, not like a video like this, but like you have a video on. Perfect example. Earlier last year when we played the first game in the Dome against the Carolina Panthers, I interviewed Brian Burns' whole family. His whole family was down in the Delta Club area, and I went and I did like a 3-minute funny as all get out video of uncles, dad, other folks, stuff like that. I was streaming it live, and because the music was playing in the background, they dinged me for it. And once they ding you, you have to do two things. You either delete it or you appeal it. And sometimes what they'll do is they'll mute out the music, but that particular time they really couldn't. So I just deleted the video altogether. That's what the big problem was, folks. It was not anything scandalous or salacious as I'm hearing. It's so weird to me that you hear some, yeah, I heard they were talking some racial stuff, and Facebook came in and turned it down. Tidy them be all messed up over there. And that is absolutely not what happened. So anybody that spreads that, they're not being truthful. That is not what happened to the group. But there is Atlanta Bird Gang, which is right now, which I'm playing into. They restarted. So if you guys want the link, make sure you hit me on Messenger or something like that, and trying to rebuild. They're actually trying to we're actually trying to appeal the decision. So it is a possibility that the group will come back up. But I guess ironically, it might be during the off season that it's down and they might bring it back up. So let's hope for good things as far as that's concerned. But kill that other negative mess about there. Retro G is in the house. What's going on, sir? Jeremy Cox with his up, my friend, said it wouldn't surprise me if Taylor Swift flew off the guardrail and knocked out Kelsey with a chair shot in the fourth quarter of the Falcons Chiefs and started making out with Bijan as the NWO music kicked. I was very detailed and very I saw some old NWO stuff the other day, and I almost forgot because at one time everybody was, when they had the little first it was just the NWO, then they had the NWO with the Wolf Pack and the red and white, and Dusty Rhodes actually turned on the NWO, which is crazy to me, biggest babyface of all time, and he turned on folks. That was real funny. That is interesting because y'all know Kansas City is coming to town, but I'll put something that wouldn't surprise me either, Jeremy, to combat what you're saying. I don't even think Taylor Swift will be with them by the time the season starts. I think this is a great thing for them. Once the football season is over with, I think cooler heads will prevail. I don't know if he can live in that world. I don't think it's gonna last. I hope it does for love's sake. I hope it does, but too many people in your business, man. Rusty says, all I know is Super Bowl 56 halftime will never be outdone. That was legendary. Are you talking about the Dr. Dre? I'm missing all the numbers. That's probably what it is. MW franchise says Usher all day. Ron Smith says Usher. Boss Trucker says off the top of my head, I can only name one Justin song, and that's fine. And again, I don't want it to get misconstrued. I may draw a demographic or a certain group that might not have heard it. Let me explain something to you, though, boss. There's a lot of folks know Justin songs. Trust me. I was actually looking, comparing the two guys. I think from a matter of clear, just number one songs and stuff like that, I do think it's actually pretty close. Both of them, as far as the songs and stuff like that. I think Usher has about, I think he has like 10 number one songs, and Usher has 10, and I think Justin has like 8 or 9. As far as albums concerned, of course, uh, Usher had the huge Confessions album and stuff like that, and he had the My Way album that were really big sellers. But the Justified album and the Suit and Tie album and what is it, Love Songs, and what was the one with Timberland did, Future Sex and Love Songs, Love Sounds or whatever. That was a big album. So yeah, yeah, I hear you, but I guarantee you that's a lot of probably you probably got Justin songs that you probably have heard but didn't know it was him. I'm sure. Rusty said it wouldn't surprise me if we have another 7 and 10 seasons. If we don't get a major upgrade at quarterback, I think they're going to do that. Kelvin, what's going on, sir? Say honestly, Justin by a hair, but Usher is close, and I think he's going to put on a classic Super Bowl performance. Your statement is exactly how I feel about that situation. I think Justin by a nose. I'm not saying that does not mean Usher is bad or horrible. I think it's that close. Y'all make sure as y'all coming in, make sure you like the video for me, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube. Please come on in. Again, the question of the day is in the 2024 Atlanta Falcons season. It would not surprise me if you fill out blank. And then also the second question with Usher performing at halftime for the Super Bowl. Who is his contemporary? I think it's Justin Timberlake. And who would you choose? And not who would you choose? That's whatever. Who do you think has had the biggest entertainment career? Because you got to say entertainment for all of them, because both of them have done music. They've done all of it, quite honestly. Clayton says Usher is a better entertainer and singer vocally. But Justin is on the heels. But me and Usher are going to be Eskimo brothers with chili. Oh man, yeah, I remember that. Because didn't he say that was "You Make Me Want"? It was two songs. It was a couple of songs off there. He said was about chili. The "You Make Me Wanna," and then it was "You Remind Me of a Girl." That was supposed to be about her. Antonio, what's going on, brother? Happy Friday to you. Appreciate you jumping into Uncle Steve's Lounge. Appreciate you. The Birdcage is in the house. Birdcage was on last night. They come on Thursdays at 8 o'clock. Y'all make sure y'all check out Ryan the Historian and his group of merry men as they talk about all things Falcons on there. So what's happening up? Appreciate you coming through last night. They'll keep them around for depth as far as Ritter. They'll either get a vet and a franchise quarterback to school them. But the thing is, we have 3 quarterback coaches who can teach them. Finally, we got some quarterback coaches in the house, Ryan. Absolutely. I know that's going to make John Harris foam at the mouth that we got some quarterback coaches. Wallace says it's real close, but I'm going to say Justin. I said it is going to be close. It's very close. Kelvin said it wouldn't surprise me if we trade up. If Jaden is sitting at number 4, wouldn't surprise me if we trade down and get our quarterback too. If we trade down, then they're going to the B list. If we're trading down, we must be at the McCarthy, Penix, or Bo Nix. Here's the thing about where we are at number 8, and if the intention is to draft a bona fide quarterback. And I say bona fide right now because I think it's been determined that head and shoulders that Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels are probably the top 3 in that order. With the Falcons at number 8 and 4 through 7 being teams that probably aren't going to get a quarterback, meaning Arizona, Giants, Chargers, and Tennessee. But you got to remember, right behind them, say for instance, Atlanta plays the game, right? Chicago says, you know what? Screw it. We're going to draft a wide receiver and keep Justin. So if they keep Justin Fields, that's 2 teams that you know are going to get a quarterback at 2 and 3 in Washington and New England, barring something crazy. You have Denver, the Raiders, and who's the other team? Denver, the Raiders, and Minnesota. Because I'm not sure if Minnesota is going to sign Kirk Cousins, who a lot of people talking about his numbers are asking for $45 million a year coming off an Achilles injury. I'm not sure. So you want to be careful that you don't let those guys jump over you on draft night and make that move. Or, quite honestly, there might be some teams talking to Chicago right now, and they might have a sweeter package for Chicago in that number 1 pick. Because somebody's going to have to come up with something to get that one. I think I've seen suggestions of 3 number 1 picks, which would include this year's pick, 2025 first round, and 2026 first round, plus a couple of ancillary picks, 3rd round in 25 and something like that. That's probably what it's going to cost. Wallace says, I don't think Ritter will be the starter this year. Anthony White, what's up, brother? Say it wouldn't surprise me if they trade Kyle Pitts this summer. That's one that's on the list, man. Yeah, I hope people don't get Raheem didn't come in here to babysit a lot of the roster that was already here. He's gonna make changes. Get ready if some familiar faces may not be here. I think Kyle Pitts is somebody, and Kyle Pitts is somebody you could probably put in one of those trades if you don't want to get rid of a number one pick. Red Roads in the house. What's going on, brother? Said love the new coaching staff. Yeah. I like the way they're assembling it too. That's some good stuff, Red. Eric says Justin Timberlake by a smidge. Yeah, man. Yeah. Boo Dogs here. Hey, looking for better days. Let's go, Raheem. Bro, I think it's gonna be. I don't want to go out too far on a limb because I want to wait and to see what happens first in free agents. Well, let's start off when they start trimming the fat. When the beginning of the business season, they're going to have to cut. They'll probably end up cutting a couple of players. We're going to have to deal with that Grady situation, man. I'm not sure if they're just going to sit back and let Grady pick up that big contract. They might talk to him about maybe doing some stuff to kind of push that money down the line a little bit. I don't know. Red said, whoever said the Raheem Morris hire is the worst thing needs a dang IQ test and a drug test. I agree. Jamal said, these sound bites kill me. And man, I'm trying, brother. Trying to be like Bigelow a little bit. I mean, with better vocals, obviously. Speaking of which, he says, you're right, Jackson 5 was a great group too. Absolutely. Antoine's in the house. What's going on, sir? Says hello to the Falcon family. Millie Mills is here. He says, well, heck, Caleb just basically put it out there. He don't want to play for Chicago. Fields might not be available no more. Here's the problem I have, and I've seen that same Colin Cowherd thing. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. There was also an Instagram that showed him liking a high rise. I don't know if you've seen that or not. I'm trying to think, was that Instagram or Twitter, where he was liking a high rise in Chicago. I don't believe any of this stuff until till the rubber hits the road. We got a long way to got a long way for that. Marina says, I think the possibility of Ritter being the starting quarterback next year is only because Raheem restructured some job titles, so Ritter finally has a quarterback coach to help him. And with TJ Yates moving into that position, TJ has been here to see some of what's going on with Ritter. As he is over there working with Drake London and he's looking on the side, he's like, ooh, as he's seeing those passes Ritter's throwing. He's like, ooh. Raheem, can I stick around? Let me leave Desmond alone.
I love Desmond.
I'm sorry, y'all. Lisa Shepard's here. What's up, Lisa? How you doing, ma'am? Good to see you. Ron Thomas. Ron, I got to get back on with you, man. Ron Thomas is old school, man. Ron was on we were Facebook critters 5, 6, 7 years ago before everybody went into the YouTube world. I got to get back up with my buddy Ron. Ron always put out some good stuff and always good on the panels. Good to see you, brother. Cracker Barrel Kid says, can we please get Kirk Cousins? I wouldn't mind getting Kirk Cousins before his injury. I'm telling you, Kirk was playing top 10 and arguably close to top 5 type of quarterback. The numbers were there. The Vikings defense at the time sucked early in the year, but he was putting up numbers. Obviously, it helped to have Justin Jefferson, but when Justin went down, he was still throwing it around a little bit before he got hurt. I'm not sure if that $45 million, and again, those are reports, nothing been proven. I'm just not sure that $45 million a year isn't too rich for my blood for a 36-year-old coming off Achilles surgery. I can't. I don't know if you would have caught me Cracker Barrel 2 years ago, I might buy it because it's not like Kirk Cousins is a scrub, but I just not sure I can dive into that pool right now. Jamal says can't complain. Bo hoping my Cavaliers make some noise this year since the Falcons let me down. Hello, Big Low. Hope all is well with you and Coach Roney as well. That's right. Shout out to Coach Roney as usual. Wallace says, do people know for sure that the Bears are going to trade Fields? Because I haven't heard anything about them putting him up for trade talks. I think what happened, Wallace, is they interviewed the GM when they were doing their end of year stuff. And the GM said having the number one pick, and I'm paraphrasing because you got to go look at it. The GM pretty much said this opens up a lot of options around here. He gave Justin his kudos for things, but he did not 100% commit to Justin Fields. Now, the Chicago Bears website just put out a nice little clip of him last week. And sometimes when you see people do that, you say to yourself, are they playing mind games with people as far as, throwing things like that out there to make them think, oh, we're going to keep Justin? I don't know. There was a nice little highlight film of what he did this year. And Justin has taken steps forward. He has not regressed. He's taken some steps forward. Is he a finished product? Not even close. But I think that's why you see a lot of noise about that, though. John, what's up, brother? How you doing? What's happening, bro? What's on the menu talk today just came in. I'm sure you've heard by now. In 2024 season, it wouldn't surprise me if blank. And also, Justin Timberlake or Usher, who you choose. Overall entertainer, not even so much who sings the best, who's just overall who's the better entertainer. Both wise. And I haven't had the honor of seeing either one of them live, but I've seen concert footage and whatever. Justin Timberlake, man, don't sleep on Justin, man. Justin can. I heard somebody say Usher can out-sing him, and I'm like, don't sleep on Justin's voice too. Justin got a nice little thing as well. Lisa said, I'm sure we'll see Fontenot on Monday at the press conference for Raheem. He'll be front and center. Oh, they might have him on a golden throne after that horrible thing that happened last time. So we'll see. Another super chat in the house. That's my buddy Rusty in here. He said, someone tried telling me yesterday Justin couldn't read defenses. Wow. Said my response was, well, he read our defense pretty dang well the last 2 years. Clowns. Yeah, he had in the Dome, when he came here to the Dome, we probably should have lost that game. On that last drive that they were moving, I think he got hurt. So it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me if if he got here, I'm telling you, I would be happy. I would be happy. Red says Tooth Decay doesn't want to talk to his wife and kids 25 times a week. That's just some straight BS. Yeah, I think again, you know what happened, Red? He got caught up. He got caught up, and they looked so arrogant up there. Him and Blank together looked arrogant not to have your GM at that particular meeting. And I think you're going to see a total different vibe when you see this press conference on Monday. Red says Taylor Swift singing a song or two will be the surprise. Yeah, they pretty much already said she's not going to be there. And plus, Taylor Swift is actually in concert on the day of the Super Bowl. She's going to be in concert overseas, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to get her real quick. Trust me, she's not getting off a 12-hour flight to get off and perform at halftime. I don't think so. Uh, Lisa says I can rap. Steve put me on the track. I need to actually my daughter usually does when we did our stuff I needed the female voice, she did a pretty good job on that. But I'll put you on the list, Lisa. I'll put you on there. Red says Monday's press conference gonna be a huge Oreo cookie. Terry and Raheem on the outside, Arthur Blank cream filling in the middle. Ah, from the mouth of Red, y'all. For y'all. Barbara says, do you think they should open MSB up for the fans to ask questions at the press conference? Now, I know they probably aren't gonna answer fan questions, but it is interesting, Barbara. I thought the same thing. I said when they said it was gonna be at Mercedes Benz, why not have the fans there to show some support? I, but you know, the only thing that would be risky, because just like when we're there, Barbara, at the games, you're gonna have if it's 5,100% loyal fans through and through, Falcon up and down. It's gonna be two or three of them when that mic goes to Arthur Blank and they might start booing him, and I don't think they want to take that chance. But you're absolutely right. I think it would be a great idea, but I don't think they can do it. I don't think they can. G, what's going on, brother? Uh, Antoine says that is messed up by ABG, but that's a great show. Also, oh yeah, absolutely. Now, as far as Tidy himself, Tidy's gonna probably still be on, so y'all look out for that. I'm sure he's gonna still do his thing. This is about the Facebook group, not the YouTube page. The Facebook group is temporarily until hopefully the appeal uh, gives us some good results. But no, you're not gonna that's not gonna be it for ABG on YouTube. I'm sure you're gonna see some more of that. Kelvin says you can't blame Caleb. You're gonna get beat up in Chicago. It's a violent place. Ah, my God. Good night, Chicago. Some of y'all too young to remember that song, Paper Lace. Uh Facebook user said, "What's going on?" At first, I wasn't too thrilled, but now I'm seeing how he's putting together this staff. I'm very pleased, and I think he's learned from his last head coach job on what to do differently. I hope so. And we got to remember, Raheem is not even 50 yet, so it's not like not only are we getting a experienced head coach, he's still very sharp. That's the first thing you hear everybody saying about how sharp he is, how knowledgeable he is, and whatever. But we not catching him in his 60s and 70s. He's still. Uh, I think we're going to benefit from this, folks. I really do. I really do. 330, what's up, brother? Say, glad you gave a much needed explanation to a really unfair rumor. Everyone can't do what you content creators are doing. A lot of legalities are involved in that, and that is the truth. And sometimes, folks, there's a part of this thing where yeah, intellectual property stuff is real, and people be serious about that. It could stop. It can shut down your YouTube page. It can shut down a Facebook group. It really can. So, and I'm saying this is just everybody be careful when y'all see those. Most of the time, they send you warnings. So when you see the warning, make sure you respond to it. So, yeah. Big Low Country Sports says I heard Travis Kelsey might retire after the season. That'd be interesting if it does. I know they were talking about it last year, the possibility of him going. But wouldn't that be interesting if him and his brother left uh, the same season? That would be interesting because that dude is marketable. He can be on there. He'll be like Gronk. Gronk Gronk is retired, and you see Gronk more now than you saw when he was playing. Clayton Murray says Janet Jackson is the best Super Bowl halftime show of all times. I won't say to each his own. I thought she was okay. I'm just thinking right off the top of my head. Michael was awesome. Prince was awesome. Bruno Mars was awesome. Um, Love the stuff they did with Dr. Dre and the folks a couple of years ago. Wasn't a big fan of the Rihanna thing, but I'm a kind of a not that I don't like Rihanna. I think she probably skews a little younger for me, but I thought that was so. Lady Gaga, of course, I will never appreciate her halftime because I think if she would have been shorter, we would have got out on the field earlier and got the game over with. Um, yeah, Janet was alright. I wouldn't put her in my top, but to each his own, Clayton. Uh, Eric says, I wouldn't be surprised if Calais Campbell comes back for one last season. It'd be interesting to hear. They showed the little picture of the D line hanging out uh, recently. Jamal says, wasn't R. Kelly Usher's contemporary, or is he a little older? Uh, R. Kelly is I think R. Kelly's a smidge older than Usher. I remember when they had that little thing. What was the name of that song? Same Girl or something like that. But yeah, Usher got away from that real quick. Big Low says, people forget that Justin Timberlake has been entertaining since the Mickey Mouse Club. I'm telling you. Him and y'all know the guy that got nominated for the Oscar this year, Ryan Gosling, who's in the Barbie movie and a whole lot of other stuff. Uh, yeah, Justin been doing this thing for a long time, but Usher was too. Wasn't Usher on Star Search? If and I could be wrong about that. I was in the army during that time, and maybe I'm screwing something wrong. But Usher started young too. That's the thing, the parallel when you talk about that, Low, because you really think they kind of started very young. And then he was, again, Justin was put in NSYNC, but it was clear he was the lead dog in that group, even though a lot of them sang. Uh, but yeah, he did start off a little earlier. T Dub, what's up, T Dub? How you doing now? Thanks for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Millie says it wouldn't surprise me if Raheem and Z-Rob use these weapons the way Arthur Smith didn't, and makes it look simple as well. But that's the hope. That's the hope. I have a couple of Pittsburgh fans at my work, and shout out to Danny Black, one of my coworkers. And when I I came to work and he didn't get the word that Arthur Smith was named the office coordinator, and he thought I was totally messing with him. He's a huge Steeler fan, and he thought I was messing with him so bad, man. The look on his face, I I wish I had a camera to see. But you know what? I say all of that, man. Arthur Smith might go out there and ball out because that team probably is closer to what Tennessee was doing before he came to the Falcons. So who knows? You never know. Man might be a better coordinator than he is head coach. Billy says, I think the Commanders have too many holes to fill to not just stick with Howell for another year. Them getting Dallas Turner or Jared versus a real possibility. Whew. Well, Millie, I'll say this. If they don't stick with Verse, I think they'll go and get I do think they might get a free agent quarterback, but the problem is, man, it's not too many. The Baker Mayfield, I think Tampa Bay is going to do what they can if they're going to keep the core of their folks. They're going to do what they can to keep Baker at least there for 2 more years. Um, I gotta think Washington is going to take a plunge. I've got to think they are, unless I haven't heard any word whether Eric Bieniemy is staying in Washington. So it may depend on whether Eric Bieniemy thinks he can still do something with Sam Howell. And if that's the case, that's great for us. But maybe we can make a deal with them. Anthony Booker, what's up, brother? See, I saw Usher in Vegas 2023, and the concert was fire. I say Usher edges Justin, not by a lot, though. And that's what you get. I think that's a fair assessment, Anthony. I think people are saying, and I like the fact that I have yet to have one person come over here and say, yeah, man, Usher hands down, Justin hands down. I don't think it's that kind of argument or comparison. I think they're super close. It just depends on your point of view. That's why I say slightly for me is Justin. And I think really, honestly, the thing that puts me over for Justin, I think he's his movie career definitely has had a little bit more shine on it because Usher just hasn't done a whole lot. I think he's still best known for um, "Set It Off" than anything else. So yeah. Barbara said, "What do you think of us playing DQ and Alton Smith this year? must I mean must win if you ask me. Yeah, I it better be 2 wins. That's what I say. It better be. It better be 2 wins." Barbara said, "Must win is what I mean." And Barbara, I'm sitting there looking. I'm like, wins, but I it took me about 5 seconds. I'm with you. Juan Solo, what's up, brother? Said, won't surprise me if we're 6-11, third in the division. Wow, I hope not. I hope not. Boss Trucker says, why not make Pitts a receiver? We'll see. Zach Robinson got a lot of work to do. Raymond Collins, what's up, Raymond? Said, what to do? Just sitting back and letting some of the smoke clear to see. Yeah, I think by the time we get to, I can't wait until after the draft this year just to see where we are. It's going to be very interesting to see what the roster looks like after the draft. I think it's going to be. I think we're going to have some changes that we're going to talk about, and people are going to be like, "Oh man, really? We did that?" Rusty says, "Marine, I bet you my life savings Raheem ain't letting Dez walk out to week 1 starter." I might have to agree with that. I'm not sure he's going to let him do that as well. Antoine says the song by Usher, "You Don't Have to Call." Yeah, maybe that's the one. We're talking about Chili. Drew, what's going on, Drew? Said, yeah, that price tag for Kirk at his age and injury history is looking iffy. If we sign him, we may pull a Aaron Rodgers and we'll be with Ritter again. Can I get a I love Desmond soundbite? Of course you can.
I love Desmond.
You the man, Drew. Appreciate you as always, brother. That one Falcon fan, what's good? Do you agree with this potential trade offer? Chicago receives 2024 first, which is the 8th pick, 2025 first, 2024 second, 2025 second, and Desmond Ritter slash cornerback AJ Terrell. Atlanta receives first overall pick. When you added either player, whether it be Desmond or Terrell, and I don't want to seem too demeaning, but I'm not sure if Desmond Ritter is going to have any trade value at all right now. So even throwing him in this mix would just be like I don't know, giving me chicken McNuggets and whether you forgot sauce or not. So I don't think that's doing anything for it. AJ Terrell is interesting. You know what? And here's the thing. Folks, we sleeping on AJ Terrell. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you AJ Terrell is Darrelle Revis or Deion Sanders or anything like that. AJ is a really good cornerback. And folks, sometimes you got to pay the piper. And I think they'll keep AJ. Someone was talking on Twitter who we keep, AJ or Kyle Pitts. Man, you keep AJ all day, all night. You can actually make a good tight end depending on what your scheme is. Think about what Baltimore did. Baltimore, when Mark Andrews went down, it was, oh my goodness, they lost the most productive tight end, blah, blah, blah. Isaiah Likely was nice. And I don't even think it's because Isaiah Likely is the next coming. I just think the way that system worked, I think it gave him a chance to get opportunities. And he took advantage of it. I think you stand a better chance of getting trading Kyle and getting a good tight end than you do trading AJ. AJ is a solid cornerback, folks. Don't sleep on that. I know people don't want to hear that, but he was. Or he is, I should say. Boss says, what's wrong with making Pitts a receiver? I don't see anything wrong with it. Depends on what Zach wants to do. I always akin his situation to Anquan Bolden because Anquan Bolden was a big dude out there playing receiver too. You could probably do it. Eric says Prince was voted number one favorite halftime performer of all time. That doesn't shock me at all. Not at all. Juan says Prince had the best halftime show ever. Antoine says Usher got away from that real quick, talking about R. Kelly. They finished the video shoot. Hey, hey, Usher like, man, let's go eat, man. What you gonna do for R. Kelly? Let's get ready to head to the playground. You want to come over? Nah, bruh. I'm good. I'm sorry. Let me stop. Leave that man alone. That was horrible, though. Horrible, horrible. Antonio says, I'm loving we getting experience in the coaching staff. Yeah, that's always good. Get as much experience as you can. I agree. Antoine says, what are you thinking about the Calvin Ridley situation with the Jaguars on us getting that second round pick? I think it's going to eventually happen. It would be foolish for Jacksonville to let him go. And really, Jacksonville probably has him in a good place. I don't think Ridley is somebody who's going to be able to command Tyreek Hill or Stephon Diggs type numbers. I think he's like a notch below that. So if they can get him somewhere between 12 and 14 or something like that, I could see them getting that done pretty quickly. And I'm pretty sure Jacksonville is almost like, do we want to lose that second round pick or not? Because it's going to be second or third one way or the other. So that's still a pretty decent pick. But I think we're going to end up getting the second round. I think they'll do it. Jay Detroit says, if Mike Evans leaves Tampa, do you think we have a chance to get him? I think Mike Evans is at a point right now, and I don't know him. I haven't read anything about him personally or whatnot. But I think Mike Evans is in a position where he can probably do whatever he wants. And if you're in a situation like that, being a solid wide receiver that can probably manage something like a $8 million contract with some escalators, dude, I could see him marching into Kansas City next year. They still don't have a wide receiver. They still don't have a bona fide wide receiver on that team. So I could see Mike Evans going there real quick. Real quick. False Star said, in 01, we traded first, second, and third, and Tim Dwight to move to number one. I know it will cost more than that, but let's get it done. I have zero issue at all, my brother, with trading up to number one. I've told people that I think that's probably the best way to go. I have two scenarios that I think will work for me as a fan. I say kind of similar to what let me see who that was who put that up. Was that one Falcon fan put up the scenario with that? Everything except the AJ Terrell thing. I would do that. So I could see jumping up to number one because you can't go to number two, number three. They're not going to give it up. Jumping up to number one and making your choice. If you truly think Jaden Daniels is going to be the guy, you can get him. If you think Caleb Williams is the guy, you can get him. Or Drake May. The other situation is to see what Chicago is going to do. If Chicago has their mindset on they're going to get Caleb Williams, they got to get rid of Justin Fields. There's no doubt. Justin is not going to be on the bench with Caleb Williams, nor are they going to have Caleb Williams under him. Caleb Williams is probably going to start day one wherever he goes. So my two situations for the Falcons, trade up to the number one position, or number two, if the situation somebody was talking about for Washington, if they decide to stick with Howell and see if Washington will play ball, or make the trade for Justin Fields. Economically, it would work out to do that, and leave Desmond Ridder on the bench and let him still work through. Going back to the position about going up to get Caleb Williams, even though I say Caleb Williams would be a starter, I'd go ask after Denver is finished with their business with Russell Wilson, which they're not going to keep him around. When Denver is finished with their business, I'd ask Russell Wilson, "Hey, brother, you already getting compensated on this side." And I wish Dre was in here because I went back and checked that. I'm absolutely right. Denver is going to owe Russell Wilson $37 million no matter what this year. The reason why they did not let him play those last two games because if he got hurt and couldn't pass the physical this year, they would owe him 2025 salary too. So yes, they would. Denver has to compensate Russell one way or another this year. So uh, I look at going up to get your quarterback, bring in Russ, tell him, say, "Hey, brother, this a 1 year, 2 year deal. You might start game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but don't be surprised if we bring Caleb in. As long as he understands like that, that's cool." T. Terry says that the Falcons, the right quarterback, they could become the Georgia of the NFL. Coach Morris, the Kirby of the NFL. I can see that if you get the quarterback, you got to address the quarterback. And folks, I'm sorry, I don't care. You could have, a lot of people have talked about that the stuff about Brock Purdy and is it him or is it because he's on the team or whatever? But let me let y'all know something. San Francisco doesn't win that game if Purdy doesn't make those plays. So you have to have a quarterback that can make plays as well. Whether he's a game manager, game changer, or however people want to put it, you have to have a quarterback to win in the NFL. And guess what? The best quarterback in 2023 is not even going to the Super Bowl. So that tells you that, it just kind of depends. I think on the AFC Championship, the better quarterback play won today. Patrick Mahomes played a better quarterback than um, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes is in the Super Bowl for the fourth time. Antonio says, outside of the Falcons, thoughts on Dan Quinn. I think Dan Quinn, he might learn. He's kind of in Raheem's boat a little bit, but I still kind of trend to think Dan Quinn is a better coordinator than a head coach. But who knows? Maybe he'll learn this go round. Ayo Kilo is in the house. Said Taylor Swift gonna pull a Kanye on the Usher during halftime. Oh, that would be crazy if she did. But she's not gonna do that though. Like I said, she'll be tired, bro. Because if she does try to come, she has a concert obligation. So I know she's gonna be tired. Travis says Dan Quinn owes us one trade over Washington. I hope so. I hope so. Barbara says ideal situation: bring Russ in for a cheap first year, move up in the draft for Daniels. I really like Daniels. I really do. I know a lot of people talk about Caleb Williams too. And I'm not somebody that's gonna be bad if you get either one of them. Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams. I'm not mad. If you can get either one of those three, to Barbara's point, bring in Russ, bring Sierra home for a couple of years. That would not hurt my feelings. Boss says, who do you like, Russell or Justin? Think about it. Who you like, Russell or Justin? Russell or Justin? Trying to think who you talking about. Yeah, you making me think too hard. I would you have to break it down. Philip says compare the 2016 staff to this staff. Yeah, 2016 staff, man. Look, just what four of them head coaches, Mike McDaniel. I saw old clip. Y'all go back and look at the NFC Championship highlight clip, and you see Mike McDaniels, you see LaFleur, you see you didn't see Kyle Shanahan in that particular, but you think about that. You got three head coaches in addition to Dan Quinn, and now Raheem Morris. So you got five folks on that. That is, man, Philip, that is, yeah, it's gonna be hard to compare. That 2016 staff was awesome. T. Terry said Morris had that energy like Kirby. He talked to them uh, when he was in Atlanta last time. Yeah. Dan the man says if we don't trade up, won't we be in limbo with stopgap quarterbacks forever? Yeah, that's true. Because I'm getting sick and tired, Dan, of Mariota. Okay, that didn't work. Ritter. Okay, that didn't work. Say for instance, we went the Kirk Cousins route. Kirk Cousins ain't gonna be here forever. I look at what the Jets are doing up there with Aaron Rodgers. I know it would have been a great thing if he didn't get hurt, but Aaron's not gonna be there forever. I'm kind of with you. I'm looking for a future. Uh T Terry, thanks so much. I appreciate you, brother. Kelvin says, I like Penix as a Falcon to sit for a year. It'll be interesting to see once the pro days come and not pro days at the combine. It'll be interesting to see how these guys are judged. I can't wait for the combine to see because usually they have one or two people that would you know make a move when you weren't expecting. Dan the man says, would you consider trading back in the draft for more players? There's a lot of talent in this draft. It is a lot of talent, Dan, but you gotta have the right scouting. And I think too many times, Dan, and I really pointed at that 2021 draft. And yes, Justin Fields may not have been super awesome, but I think if you really had gotten your guy then, I think we wouldn't be worried. We could be getting some of those ancillary pieces now. I'm coming back to your question. I think if you trade down, you have to be 100% sure that some of these lower first round picks and high second round picks are going to work out. The Bill Belichick way worked great for him for a long time because he had Tom Brady in place. If you had Tom Brady in place, it's easy to make um, it's easy to make decisions to accumulate a lot of picks because you're settled at quarterback position. We're so not settled right now, Dan. I think you have to use the equity you have with those high picks to get higher end players. You cannot go back to a third round um, evaluation as a quarterback and think you're going to make him a star. So to answer your question, I don't think I would do that this year. I wouldn't. If there were free agent, if we had like 2 or 3 free agent quarterbacks with that were no doubt people, maybe so. But you really only have Kirk Cousins. Are you really gonna hitch a wagon to Ryan Tannehill? Is Gardner Minshew somebody that you really want to go to say he's your quarterback? Even if Tampa Bay decides to let Baker Mayfield walk, are you ready to pay Baker Mayfield probably somewhere between 30 and $35 million for a year or two? I'm not sure. I'm not sure I am. Folks, I did not even realize the time. I'm having such a great time up here. I need y'all to do your uncle a favor real quick. If you haven't already, please go over to that like button, push the like button for me, get this video out there so people can start watching and feeling what we got going on. We do this every Friday. It's called the Friday Brunch. I'll definitely be on Monday for the Monday Minutia, as I am always, usually at 6 o'clock on Mondays, and we'll talk more about Atlanta Falcons, the preview up until the Super Bowl, and things of that nature. If you all still want to answer the questions that we have up here, please do it in the comments. Please, after we're finished, put that stuff in there for me. I really appreciate it. You all are awesome. Everyone have a blessed Friday. We'll catch y'all on Monday for the Monday Minutia. This is your Unc signing off. Y'all be good.